He's accused of being the murderer in the Delphi killings, and he is still in prison, not jail, in solitary confinement prison, to be exact. Richard Allen is who we're talking about, and last week, all of his world was set into high speed, like a big snow globe being shooken around as his attorneys withdrew from the case, and looks like mainly forced to withdraw from the case. But there has been some new developments in this over the last week. Here to discuss, Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI special agent. I know there was a FOIA request that was out there just to kind of take a closer look at who is Richard Allen. A lot of us have been wondering what we've been getting thus far really doesn't paint the picture of someone who is out to go and murder two little girls in the middle of the woods. But stranger things have happened. Now that we're a week in after the big withdrawal of the attorneys, which there's actually more news on that as well. What are your thoughts on where this is headed for Richard Allen?
Well, right now, just the fact that he's sitting in this maximum security prison in solitary confinement without attorneys is certainly at best disconcerting, as well as the details regarding why that has happened.
Hmm.
Two of his attorneys that are Tony, they are very well respected
Hmm.
in terms of being real bulldogs
Yeah.
uh, in Indiana. He didn't get some slouches. They were good. They put together that huge memo. I think they were really on their way to at least trying to put out some nuggets to show some concern, at least that could have been levied at a jury, right? To cause a
Yeah.
possible concern as to whether they could convict. I don't know. But what I do know is this is putting this whole case now in arrears, I think at least a year more.
Yeah, without a doubt. And with that being said, why are they not looking? Or I know there has been a motion to possibly move him, but I don't know what this just seems insane. Why not jump on that? The man has not been convicted of a crime yet. Uh, he's just sitting there in this horrible, horrible state, one of the worst states you'd want to be in if you were a convicted killer, and he is not that. Why can we not, at the very least, give him, what he's entitled to in terms of if you're being locked away, this is the standard for it. It's not what he's currently experiencing.
Well, the prosecution came forward and said, listen, he's being treated just fine. And they said, furthermore, there's not a county jail, at least the ones that they discussed, Carroll County initially, that felt they could manage him. I just find the whole thing ridiculous, being very familiar with local jails and state penitentiaries. And
Hmm.
there is no possible way that he could not be housed in one of the county jails in Indiana.
Hmm.
It's ludicrous to say that. He just needs a cell. Yes, it's going to require a little bit more extra, but quite frankly, he has to be in solitary confinement by himself. They're doing a fine job with all of that with Brian Koberger with no issues. So
Yeah.
I take it's a real stretch. And the defense made a strong argument. And unfortunately, Judge Gold didn't agree.
Right now, I find the timing, and I'm not trying to go down conspiracy routes here, although this case is filled with them. The timing was quite odd for all of this to come down. Of this photo leaked out of the office from a friend, and we're talking the defense here as well, which also didn't make a ton of sense. And the judge basically saying, no, there's been too much of this. Of course, the original Odinistic document also got leaked out when it wasn't under seal for those 2 hours. That's how we found out about all of that. And eventually, it seems like the judge said, "Look, you're not going to be able to represent him anymore." But we did hear earlier in the day, just recently, actually, that there is a motion that has been filed, including a verified notice of continuing representation. Uh, Filed by Brad Rossi, one of the attorneys in this. uh, have you heard this yet, or is this news to you as well? Because I know it just came out minutes ago.
I actually did hear that that was going to happen.
Hmm.
I have not seen the motion,
Hmm.
but I am totally not surprised from the standpoint these lawyers do not want to give up this case.
No.
That is the furthest thing from their mind. First of all, they're completely invested now. They've been on it for months and months and months. They know this client. It's a high profile case, which helps them. It helps them in the future. It helps them throughout the process. I mean, if you went to Crime Con, you would see some of these defense attorneys, everybody rushing to have a photo taken with them, to shake their hand, to speak with them. So it gives a moment of sort of celebrity. There is no way they want off this case,
Yeah.
especially in this way. Sort of been saying, I mean, the judge, it would seem, said, listen, you step down or we'll talk about it in open court. And
Mhm.
I don't think they wanted to face that music.
I don't think they did, but at the same point, it's almost cruel and unusual to walk away from him at this moment in time, considering everything that they've brought to the table with all the Odinistic arguments.
You're right. And to me, the real indication of how desperately this affects Richard Allen was his wife leaving that courtroom sobbing and in tears. That if that's not an indication of what this meant to them as a family, if you will, and to their perceived representation, good representation for him. I don't know
Mhm.
what is.
I don't either. I just hope that he gets fair representation. Not saying he's innocent or guilty, but what's going on there is not right in any stretch of the imagination.
I agree with you, Tony. It's just not right. And I'm pretty darn conservative, law
Mhm.
enforcement,
Yeah,
but everything I see here is just stinks.
yeah. It gives good law enforcement a bad name when things like this occur so publicly. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you want more of our interview with our guests, be sure to check out our podcast, Hitting Killers with Tony Brueski. Just search that wherever you download podcasts and press subscribe. Also, you can check out our YouTube channel for the full video version of the interviews as well, under the same name, Hitting Killers with Tony Brueski. Check it out, subscribe, binge, and enjoy. Thanks for watching.